What did you say?
I need a script.
A script? No. Improv.
What do I say?
Pretend you or have your own podcast right now. What would you say? Welcome to
PushingPastPolite?
Yeah, try. Go ahead. Say it confidently.
I can't.
Try.
I'm too smiley.
You're too smiley? Just say it while you're smiling then. Come on. Say whatever you want to say. You don't have to say that. Say something different.
I love dolphins.
You love dolphins. And with that, let's start the podcast.
Open.
What is that?
Mervyn's. Do you remember Mervyn's?
No. What are Mervyns?
Oh, maybe, Matt. It was a West Coast store. Mervyn's was like before there was Kohl's and that kind of store, there was like Mervyn's. But there were these commercials that like Mervyn's was such the place to shop that people would be waiting for them to open and
Outside.
like be standing at the door being like, open.
That's cute. That's
Well,
cute. No, I've never heard of that. I'm going to have to look it up.
Mervyn's.
It might be West Coast.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
So welcome to Pushing Past Polite, where we talk about what matters and make the world more just. I'm Kori.
And I'm Laura. And we're so glad you're here. Today, we want to talk about something that's come up in our friendship that is pretty commonplace, pretty in the zeitgeist, in pop culture, but we both had very different reactions to it and different levels of embracing it. So we're going to talk about the idea of using positive affirmations and what that means to each of us.
And like positive energy and movement and all that kind of stuff.
The universe, putting things in the universe.
Putting things out into the universe and attracting things back to you.
Yeah.
Laura's face
baggage.
looks so sour.
I am in pain. Every sphincter is like this. Just thinking about this. It's just, it's tough.
Yeah.
How about you talk a little bit first about like your background?
Yeah.
And I don't even know all of this, but like your early days and why this was so comfortable for you to embrace.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. So when I grew up in a Christian household family. We went to church, like multiple days a week kind of thing. My parents were in the choir. We all worked at the church, that sort of thing. But my grandmother, my mom's mother, she went to a church of religious science. And so it was like just a different way of thinking about religion and Christianity. Like, I feel like more grounded in just like practical living and things. And so she would say things to me like, there's only one mind. Like, we're all connected. There's only one mind. So that kind of language I was always exposed to growing up, that we're all connected to a single source, that there's only one mind, there's one source, there's one being, and they're the same, right? It's like God, Allah, the Almighty, the Creator. That's the source.
The life source.
The life source, right? So in thinking about things like that, when I was in my early 20s and my sister and I both, we read The Secret and talked about the law of attraction, and we did vision boarding, and we were just kind of in a space of, at that point, I would say I was probably more wishful thinking, right? There wasn't as much energy or focus around it. But I had representations of the life that I wanted captured in a variety of ways. And I would speak to those things in a variety of ways. And then more recently in like my adulthood and now that I'm in 41, I have been much more grounded in this idea of like there's one source. We're connected to the source. We're all part of the source. And in the fact that there is only one source, that means we have access to all things. And so I watched this show called The Avatar, and it's on
Not with blue people.
Okay. It's The Avatar. It was a Nickelodeon show that went off. It's an animated show. And basically the Avatar is the embodiment of all the elements. These 4 different peoples, the water tribes, the fire nation, the earth benders, and the air nomads, right? And the Avatar is the
This is so
one.
sci-fi
Yeah.
that I'm really struggling to connect,
I'm
but I
so
am
okay.
working hard.
Here I am. But the avatar was the thing, the uniter. The avatar was the one that had all of those abilities. They could do the earth bending, the air, the water, the fire, right? So the avatar was the uniter, the connector. And they were connected to the spirit world. The avatar is the liaison into the spirit world. And so, like, that's how I view myself in some ways, right? It's
Huh.
like I am connected to earth and fire and wind and water and the spirit world.
Da, 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 da. I mean, yesterday was the 21st of
It
September
was
as we're recording.
right.
Okay.
And so, like, that idea of just being connected to the source, which means you're connected to that which is current and natural in our environment, and all of the energy that has left bodies, right? We're still connected to those spirits, that souls, those beings. And so now I orient my affirmations around gratitude first
Mm.
and reminding myself that I literally am living in something that I asked for, desired, and manifested for myself whenever.
Oh gosh, and if link it to ancestors too, like you are living your ancestors' dreams in so many ways.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
So
shit, that's
then,
amazing.
how easy is it to operate in gratitude,
Mm.
right? Like, I am sitting here recording a podcast, and I'm so grateful that I have a space where I can be myself with one of my best friends and have these conversations that are just authentic and honest and me.
Yep.
Right. And so my affirmations are about abundance and love and peace and family and health. And then it's like when these things are present in my life, I verbally express my gratitude,
Mm.
right? I am grateful for the fact that even though I didn't sleep that well, I still feel good enough to be having this conversation, right? That like my body isn't completely crumbling. And in some days it's really hard, but those are the days that I feel like you really are most tied into the source, right? When you're
Mm.
digging deeply to identify the bright spots and the little things that make your life just beautiful and are grateful for all those little things, then it brings to you some of those bigger things
Mm.
because you're a good steward over the things you have. And so that's how you bring in more things into your life, right? You're caring for, you're appreciative of what you have. I have everything I need.
Can you give me an example of an affirmation you would say in your daily life?
I have,
I know you have a board.
yeah. One of the things is just like, I'm grateful. Like, I wake up literally in the morning and I say, thank you. Thank you so much for waking me up, for this life that I have, to be with the partner that I'm with, for the health of my family and myself.
Mm.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
Right. Like,
Okay.
and I open up my body and it's like, I'm open and receptive to the goodness, the beauty, and the abundance that the universe has to offer.
That's beautiful. Before you even have your feet touch the floor.
Yeah. That's like how to start. And so then you start to, the more you're grateful, the more you notice that you can be grateful for.
Mm. I love it.
You know, there's a song that we used to sing in my church, and it's like, the Lord is blessing me right now, right? And he woke me up this morning, started me on my way. The Lord is blessing me right now. Like that, just that.
That hopefulness, that sense of hopefulness and what's to come.
Yeah. And that like acknowledgement of there are people who did not wake up this morning. Right. And so the fact that I am awake and I wake up to happy faces most of the time, and I can come downstairs in my home that we own and I can cook breakfast for my little people. That's something to be grateful for. And I express that gratitude verbally, right? The story that you told me this morning is something that I would have said out loud. Wow, I'm so grateful for my boy. And that's such a beautiful gift. And it may not happen every day, but wow, look at what he did today. I am so thankful that I have a son who is thoughtful and considerate and kind.
Yeah. The way you're framing this in terms of gratitude is something that is very comfortable for me. Very, very, very comfortable. I am totally fine with saying, I'm grateful for what I have now. I am less comfortable with projecting forward and this
Mm.
idea of like, it's coming to me, things are coming. And
Oh.
I'll explain a little why.
Mhm.
There's a lot to unpack about this, but I'm going to pick just this slice. So I grew up in very borderline cultish evangelical subculture.
Yeah.
And also, one of the churches that my family went to, my mom went to and took us to, was very much into the prosperity gospel
Uh-huh.
and healing. So when you see like the crazy televangelist and like these crusades and like that was my childhood. So there was a lot of, in my mind, I think what the positive framing on this would be speaking into existence the things that are not yet and having
Mhm.
faith and hoping for that.
Mhm.
But I also saw a lot of denial of reality and a lot of treating God like a genie in a bottle to give you your
Right.
3 wishes. And I have so much anxiety and like just ick, just, oh my God,
Mhm.
so much ick because that can be used in such a way to exploit people. And I saw that, right? So the pastor up front is wearing these crazy expensive suits, and yet he's busing people in from inner city Richmond who don't have means, telling them, you've got to believe and you got to show God that you believe by sacrificing and making this payment to our church so I can have my private jet. And you are still in poverty, but keep believing it. Don't say it. It's this, and another example is like I'd be homesick from
The
school.
hypocrisy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we'll start there. Like imbalance of power, abuse of power,
Mhm.
right? So not only there being this differential because of position, but then using that for harm, for self enrichment is just a
Mhm.
major ick. But
Mhm.
like I also,
Same.
yeah,
Agreed.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Thanks. I have a feeling we'd agree on that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
also too, like I remember being home from sick from school. And of course, when you're home sick from school, you want to stay in bed or like watch a show and just chill.
Right.
And I remember my mom would make us say out loud like healing scriptures. Like we
Mhm.
had to do these rituals. And it was like, no, you're not sick. I couldn't tell my mom I was sick. No, you're not sick. You're healed.
Oh.
I'm not. I'm actually sick right now. I can hope for that and I can ask for healing. But like right now, I am fucking sick. Right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some wacko stuff here going. There's stuff beyond just affirmations happening. But for me,
Ew.
I know, I know. So when I hear people say, like, I have things coming to me, abundance is coming, all of that, I think of pastor in the really expensive suit,
Right.
manipulating people.
Yeah.
And I think, no, actually, I'm really struggling right now and I don't have the thing that I need or the thing that I want.
So here's the okay, I'm so glad that you brought this up because what I'm talking about is not in place of or absent from doing work,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like I'm expecting I'm going to just sit here and say these words and these things are going to appear in my life,
Mm-hmm.
right? There is an alignment and a connection to my work, what I am doing, the
Mm.
effort that I am putting in, and the words that I'm stating out loud, right? So on Instagram right now, there is a audio clip that it shows up all the time. It's a money mantra, right? And it's like money comes to me easily. Money comes, I forget what it says, like money coming in, right? It's this audio thing. And though it's like I said that one morning. I said that I told you this yesterday. I
Yes.
said that I was saying that to myself yesterday. And then I opened an email and there was a request for me to send an invoice for $7,200
For work that you had done.
for
So to
work
connect
that
it to
I
work,
had
right?
done, for work
Mm-hmm.
that I had done. But there was the money coming to me. And then it's like, wow, immediate
Mm-hmm.
gratitude, right? Because I did work to earn that money. And I have been saying that money is coming. Money is coming. It's like I got a check for $35 for shopping on that platform that you told
Hey,
me
hey,
about.
let's give an affiliate link. I'm
Right.
just kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and then I got another check for 30. So money coming to me, it's not always it's not $100,000 or $50,000, but it is still coming. I see it coming in front of me. And when I see it, I'm working on a proposal that I just am putting energy on is going to manifest into work. And so I'm focusing my energy on this proposal being well received and
Mm,
that this is going to turn into work for us. And if it doesn't turn into work in this space, it can turn into work in some other way.
mm.
That is the focus that I'm putting on there, right? Um,
That's a great example. And can I tell you how I would think about that?
yes.
So if I were working on a proposal, I'd be like, okay, logical mind, we're going to do our best. We're going to, lessons learned from past. We're going to use what resources we have to tap experts in this space. We're going to put it together and we'll hope for the best. And what are our odds? I'm thinking science, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking spreadsheets. I'm thinking odds. And then I just sit and I don't do much hoping because I don't want to get hopes up or have hopes come down. And so my energy is being spent in the work, but not in that alignment bigger than me piece like you're talking about.
Mhm. And it's not just hoping because our words have power, And so, that's why
I
when,
absolutely believe that.
yes. And so that's why when people say mean things, it creates an emotional reaction, right, in our bodies, that those words are not just words, they have power. And so it's not that I'm just hoping, wishing, and hoping. I am speaking. Goes back to that scripture you're even describing, right? Speaking into existence that which you cannot see.
Hmm.
And so it may not even end up being this proposal, but it may be a proposal I model after this proposal
Right.
that ends up being but that's still that same work manifesting back to me as far as I'm concerned, because the craftsmanship around developing the proposal is leveraged maybe in 3 proposals. And if
Yeah.
one of those comes back to me, then it's still that same effort,
Yes.
right?
I hear this and get this. And I think because of my hangups about and what I experienced, it feels like, and let me start by saying, I do believe words have power. I see that in my parenting when I mess up or when I do like when things are really great. I know the power of words. I absolutely know science tells us, right? The power of gratitude and positive mindset and growth mindset versus fixed mindset. I am a firm believer in all of that, but I don't think I apply it in terms of future the same way that you do. I think of it more as retrospective. Like, oh, this happened and now I can see this connection.
Hmm.
Like
But how
a
do you have a
child.
retrospective growth mindset?
No, you're right. I guess what I'm saying is like I can see the impact of words on a generation of our family. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
your dad always said that. Look how you turned out. Like that kind of thing, like in the harm kind of way. Or,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think I actively, because I'm so nervous of falling into that genie God mindset, I get hesitant and I get timid. I will tell you how I do use affirmations. Um, if
Please.
Yeah, so absolutely gratitude, like all the time, all the time. My cutie youngest is so funny and quirky, and anytime there's a palindrome number on the clock,
Mm-hmm.
she says, "Palindrome, make a wish." Every time, palindrome, make a wish. Palindrome, make a wish. And at first it was annoying because it's almost literally every 10 minutes, some hours, right? 151.
Right,
You're
right,
like, yeah, it's
right,
like
right,
131, 141, 151. Okay, we get it, babe. We've made
right.
some wishes.
Yes.
But my wishes are always, I take it seriously because she brings it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do things like, yeah, like she got braces recently. And I was like, I really hope that she has I'm hoping for a pain-free experience for her, or that my kids always want to hang out with me like we are in this moment or whatever it is. So like I do kind of hold on to that. And also when people give me compliments about my way of being or my way of working, I see those as affirmations. Less forward, like I said, less forward thinking and more of like, I need to hold on to that and remind me of who I am on days when I'm struggling. And I
You
keep a
know
list of
why this
those.
is so interesting to me?
Why?
Because you are such a planner in every other way.
Mm,
And so if you
yeah,
oriented it to like planning
to future.
to future, right? Like, but you do that in so many other areas of your life. You plan out your meals and your grocery lists, and you're thinking future. You're not thinking about last week. You're thinking
Yeah, that
about
meal was
next.
good. No, because
Yeah,
they're hungry
because they're
tomorrow.
hungry tomorrow. You're thinking about your forward thinking. When you're conceptualizing even like your doctor's appointments and the timing and the things and all these pieces that of the puzzle of parenting that you're trying to orient around, you're thinking ahead about what it is, the way in which you want the day to go,
Yep. All the
right?
time.
This is the same thing, right? So what I am thinking about, it may be a little farther, but I want more ease in my life,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
I want to not have to have the PTO discussions that we have with our partners because there's just more ease. There's more space and flexibility in my life. And so part of the way that I'm going to try to create that for myself is by doing this thing, right? I'm going to invest more time in my consulting business so
Mhm.
that I can have more control over my work, and
Yeah.
that will create more ease. Like I said, there's work that's associated with it, and it's work that in some ways you're doing. We just orient some of it differently. And I think some of my stuff, I think just more like bigger, right? More
Yeah.
ecosystem-y things.
That's also how we think.
And that's
You
how we
are my
think.
vision girl.
Yeah,
And I am your, okay, I'll make it happen.
exactly. But you can, even within the way that we think, that affirming, that gratitude, that seeing yourself in a space that's slightly different, it still works in both models.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I wonder how much of this is like, capitalism, right? Like I, right? I'm so busy and
Yes.
constrained and thinking about next thing. And I don't want to get my hopes up because something bad could happen and there's no safety
Mhm.
net and like la la
Mhm.
la 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 la. That how much of this is me being constrained in my thinking in those models, right? Like
Yeah.
I wonder if saying, like I love the way you're talking about creating the life you want, bigger picture vision for who you are versus me thinking in pieces. Next year, next thing, next job versus thinking like this is my one wild and precious life. What am I going to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. And being grateful for what you have in the moment. Like, so when we bought this house, I was already looking at our next house.
No,
Yeah.
were you really?
Uh-huh. And
Oh, I
because
want to die in this one.
yeah, because when we bought this house, remember I was 9 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love our house. Don't get me wrong. I really do. I love our house. But there are some things that I wish we had, right? And so when we bought this house, very soon after, I told my husband that I wanted our last house to be in this other neighborhood that's like around the corner from here, right?
Okay.
And I have all these reasons, really, like reasons why I want him to be able to have a shop because he likes to do woodworking stuff. He also is a contractor. And so having a space where deliveries and things can come and be, that isn't also where I would like to park my vehicle.
Yeah, that
Right?
sounds nice.
Yeah. And so like our garage was cleaned out for, I don't know, a few months maybe, or the first 6 or 8 months. And now you can't get a car in there anymore because
Mm-hmm.
we just have so much, we have material and all kinds of stuff, right?
Dippitas, all the dippitas
And
in
the
my way.
dibba-doos and the shibba-dibbas.
I heard about widgets.
Right. We got
You got any widgets?
we got the widgets and the kidgets and the tidgets, all the things. We have all the stuff in there. And so in my mind, what I see for us is if this is the kind of work we're going to be doing and the life that we're going to have, is how do we create ease in that? And so that would be
Mm.
this other home where we have space for materials to be. We have room for my husband to have a shop and do woodworking so that if it's wintertime and he wants to go build something, he can, right?
Mm-hmm.
That there is space for me to record our podcast that is private and secure, that there is still guest space like I want and the space to entertain. Our backyard is on a deep pitch, which
Mm-hmm.
is great so that we don't have any
Sledding.
water problems and for sledding. but it's hard. Like we can't,
You can't play soccer.
we can't play
throw-
soccer. We can't like that sort of stuff. So these were the kinds of things I was thinking about in our next home that should be our last home. That we have the outdoor space and we have the indoor space and we have the building space and we have the ease.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love this house and we'll probably live in this house for like 10 years, right? The interest rates were low. Our mortgage rate is great.
All the more reason
All
to
the
die in
more
my
reason,
current
right?
house.
Exactly. And though I want to be able to engage in the things that I desire. And so some of that and that my husband desires. And, watching him with our sons building and painting and grilling and all this kind of stuff just creates a more solid vision for me of what this other space could provide in expanding that relationship, in creating more opportunities for them to connect and for me to connect. Having a kitchen has a little bit more room because both of the boys enjoy cooking. And we've talked about having a even bigger cooktop that we just really don't have space for here. Those kinds of things so that we can continue to have the life that we want as we grow and evolve and change.
So you're developing vision for what you want your next space to be. What would your affirmations look like? Like, how does that connect in terms of what you tell yourself or what you
It's like
speak?
it's already on the way. And so it's not going to be tomorrow. It may not be next week, right? As long as interest rates are at 7% for home ownership, we're not moving. But it's already on the way. So I'm not sweating it because I know that it's already there for me. And it's just
a confidence in that.
Yeah. And so there's just a matter of time until I receive that which I desire.
I love this and I want to get there. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. And it's been evolving and shifting and shaping for 20 years, right? For like 19, 20 years. This is not this
you didn't
way.
Just wake up yesterday
I didn't wake
thinking
up,
this
yes,
way.
I didn't like have my turn 40 and have this epiphany and I was like, oh, I have a board and I have affirmations. I'll read some. I love myself. I love the universe. The universe loves me. God loves me. My husband loves me. My children love me.
Yeah, that I see. Again, to me, that describes present state and truth. I can handle that, like I get.
But sometimes you look at your husband and you're just like,
Grr.
And then that's when
My husband loves me.
Right. But that's when you really need it, right? It's like, my husband loves me. I know that we're disagreeing right now. And I know that we're not seeing eye to eye, but I can go back and remind myself, my husband loved me. The universe loves me. We're going to get through this. Another one is Pushing Past Polite is well received by the audience, which grows daily.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. Look at us.
Our audience grows daily. And so like our audience may grow by 2 people, but that's growth. So it's
Thank you for doing that.
I'm grateful for those 2 new listeners. I'm grateful for the 6 new listeners. I'm grateful for the person who re-listened to an episode that really touched them, and so
if you connect that to energy and universe too, right? It's this idea of, in a way, giving something of ourselves, connecting with other people, having that
and we're
kindness
all connected.
Go forward.
We're all connected. And so
the circle of life.
The circle of life. Did you hear that they're going back? They're going to open back up. Lion King, they went off Broadway because of COVID and all of that. And I watched this video, I will send it to you, of their first rehearsal. And it opened with
I might have seen this.
Yeah.
And then everybody starts like almost crying because it's just so powerful to be back together again.
So powerful to be back together again.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, here's a money one. I am grateful to money because it allows me to feel in charge of my life and to feel free.
I like it.
It's, I am open and receptive to all of the abundance and goodness the universe has to offer.
That's where I think I need to start. I like that idea of being open to possibilities and trusting that it's part of something bigger.
Yeah. I am grateful to money because it gives me freedom to control my time.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the money mantra is not just about like, I'm trying to be rich, bitches.
But there
Right?
might be one about that.
There isn't.
I'm
I
just
don't have
kidding.
any about that.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
it's
I'm kidding.
really about money is a tool to create ease. That's what I want for myself. Ease. Right?
Yeah, it's not about stuff.
It's not about stuff. So the affirmations for me are 1, rooted in gratitude, and 2, grounded in my desire for ease. And so the things that I am interested in manifesting in my life are connected to that, right? The different house is also about ease. And I think that that's possible.
I know it is. Yep.
Yeah. And so it's like,
I think I just did an affirmation.
you did. It's going to
Now,
require
before anybody
work
gets
and planning.
Yeah. Yep.
But the focus is on, this is something that I know that I can achieve. I'm going to do it. And I'm grateful for every single step and milestone that gets me closer to that.
As opposed to sit back and have the genie God.
Yes.
And it's a way of connecting you in gratitude and connecting you in future planning.
And also, I really have everything I need. So if we never moved, that's okay. Right?
Yes.
It's like, I have everything I need here.
Yes.
We're safe. We're comfortable. We can afford our home. We created some outdoor space for ourselves. We're in close proximity to the people who care about us and love us.
Yes.
You know, like we can get
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a whole lot.
Right.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be heartbroken if in 10 years on the dot, we're not moving into this other home. Like, okay.
And
maybe
could there be a role
changed.
for it shouldn't like that the universe, that connection to the source, like that it wasn't meant to be, that
Exactly.
there was okay.
Because what else could happen? Maybe we buy a condo or a beach house. And like, that's the other space that we have that they can go to and we can go to and run and be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it shows up differently. And that's the
universe, get creative.
And that's the other piece. It's like, I'm open and receptive to the goodness and the abundance the universe has to offer. I have a vision for what I think it could be, but it may not show up for me in that way. And that's okay.
But you'll recognize it because you're looking for it.
Money comes to me easily. It was a $30 check for jury duty, but it still showed up. It's not my salary. It's outside of the standard money that I'm getting. It was like an extra $30. Yes, I had to go to jury duty, but who? No, but it's like I got dismissed. I didn't have to sit on any panels. I was there for a couple of hours in the morning, and then I came home, and then 2 weeks later, I got a check. I shopped on Carter's and bought the boys some clothes that I would be doing anyway, and then 3 weeks later, I got a check. The dogs are barking, yeah.
Barking like crazy.
Bark, bark, bark.
Dang, nabbit. Let me go find him. Hold on.
Okay. I can't hear you, Laura, because you're on mute and I'm talking to Keith.
I said, well, if that's not a sign they want to get out, they're like ready to go. So let's do this. What if, let me practice.
Okay.
So I'll start by saying that
I got this one from Jennifer Lopez.
Oh my God. An affirmation from Jennifer Lopez.
I am youthful and timeless at every age.
Yes, she is. She's too much. I don't know how you look that good. It's also your job to look that good. So you probably have lots of resources to put towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to be affirming that one, but we'll go with something else.
But I don't have Jennifer Lopez resources.
I know, but you do look good.
But that's what I'm saying.
Okay, we're going to start.
Side note though, I drink a ton of water. You know that.
Yes.
And
Same.
I moisturize and hydrate and all the things.
My friendship with you has taught me about the importance of moisturizing. I'll just say. All right. So I'm going to practice and say that related to this, oh my God, dogs, I'm not grateful for that right now. Hey, I love you. It's okay. It's a lawn crew across the street.
Oh yeah.
They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Hey, I love you. Stop. Girls, thank you for protecting me. I am grateful for my dogs protecting me.
That's right.
I am grateful to be in a safe home and that they alert me to any harm. And I don't need this. Come here. Let's finish up. All right. I think he's out of sight. I am grateful for so many things, including good health on the whole, friends and family. I'm so grateful for our friendship that came out of nowhere for me. It was something I was not expecting. How about this? We'll speak into existence. Like, I want time to connect with you in person sometime soon. And I'm going to look for opportunities for that.
Yeah. We will connect in person soon.
Ooh, I love that confidence. We will connect with in person soon. I am open to all the universe could provide in terms of opportunities for that.
Yeah. And they're already there. So now you may notice them differently. So here's part of it for me. You may notice them differently. In saying some of the things out loud, it also puts the indicators on my radar. Right? And
potentially alerts your partner and your friends and all these other things that they should be looking for you too, right?
Yes.
Or be aware of this.
Yes.
This is a goal of mine.
Yes. And
which can be so important in communicating with partners.
We're going to connect in person. That's what we're going to do. And so now that we've said it out loud, we're affirming it for each other. When we look at calendars, that's going to be something that's in our mind. It's not going to magically happen, but it's something that we are going to do. We're going to make that happen.
So be it. All right. Pushing Past Polite Retreat on tap. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Maybe we can record a live episode.
Ooh, snap. This is getting exciting.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for talking about this. Sorry, I have so many hangups.
No, but I don't apologize for that because I fully understand that. And my hangups, I understand those hangups because I have similar hangups about church.
Yeah. Oh, this is worth another conversation, isn't it?
Right. It's so, but I have to remind my own parents that just because I don't go to church does not mean I am not connected to the source.
Yes. Yes.
And so
absolutely.
I reiterate that. Like I am very much in tune with the source of all power. I'm very connected to that. And so, church to me, particularly in the current state that we're in, and it has been actually in this country and in many places forever.
Decades.
So divisive for centuries, right? How many wars have been fought over beliefs, church beliefs and things like
Crusades?
This, right?
Start there. I mean, that's just aptly named. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that relationship, I don't make that relationship. There are things in the Bible that definitely align with this way of being, right? But I'm not so tied to the words of the Bible that were written by some guy and then multiple men and probably some women that just don't get any acknowledgement because of the time in which these things were being created and then have been rewritten and translated. And it's like, we don't even know what they're talking about.
Can I tell you a really funny meme I saw recently about Bible and literal interpretation? It was in the future, people are not going to be able to tell the difference between a butt dial and a booty call. And they're like, and that's the problem with reading scripture literally thousands of years later.
Exactly.
And I was like, that's so
so great.
It is, right?
Yes.
So, okay, we have a lot more to unpack on this topic.
Yeah.
For sure. Sounds like let's keep doing this.
Absolutely. I love these conversations.
Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Thanks for joining in, everybody. Hope you continue to push past polite in your safe spaces. Hope your dogs keep you safe. Mine's still at it. And to follow us on socials. We'll connect. We'll look forward to next time. Until later, I'm Laura.
I'm Kori. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Pushing Past Polite. We encourage you to go deeper in your trusted spaces or find new space for good conversation. You'll find content to help you get started on our social media channels.
We're at Pushing Past Polite on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Pushing Past Polite is an independent podcast with Kori and Laura from Just Educators.
Our cover art was designed by Rachel Welsh DeIga of DeIga Designs, and our audio is produced by Keith at Headset Media. Until next time, don't get stuck talking about the weather. Push past polite.
See you next time.